has the worst finale in TV history.
I haven't even seen it, and I
makes Lost look like Smallville.
Okay, I'm not going to divulge too much, but how do you think a show like Dexter should end, Arlen?
It should end either with Dexter getting caught, or
dying.
Or dying to maybe sacrifice somebody, or dying having turned into a full-on villain. Who knows?
None of those happen.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
okay.
They copped out, and
He moves. He leaves his new family somewhere. I don't remember where. And then goes and becomes a lumberjack and sits by himself in silence, and then the show ends.
And he grows a shitty beard.
So it
I heard
becomes
something about a
X-Men Origins
tornado.
Wolverine.
Yeah, he becomes Wolverine.
Yeah,
He grows
basically,
claws.
Dexter's a prequel to Wolverine.
It's a prequel to a prequel.
I heard that something about like him driving into a tornado or something. I don't know where I heard that from.
He fakes his death. He drives his boat into a storm,
Oh, okay.
presumed to die, but then it's revealed that he lived and just relocated, changed his identity, and just lives by his fucking self-hating. He lives like this lonely, loathsome life, in the middle of some logging community, and just the final scene is him sitting there at a table, just staring off into the camera, and then nothing.
So it ends like Sopranos.
That's yeah, but that sounds really bad.
Sopranos at least had somewhat.
Sopranos had the thing with Sopranos is that it ended in people going like, "Oh my God, was that guy going to shoot Tony? What was going to happen? Is something going on here?" It left you with a bunch of intriguing questions. All not paying off on any of them, obviously, because of the last episode. But Dexter ends on just a fart.
Yeah, it ends on him staring forward, and there's nothing you could There's
no narration. There's no music. There's nothing. It's just staring at the camera. Pull back.
Nothing you can
credits.
extract from it.
Did it end worse than Heroes Reborn?
I've never watched Heroes. I wouldn't know. So we've established that this Scott Buck dude is kind of a fucking bust.
Yeah. Kind of a bad choice to pick as the showrunner.
What the fuck else happened? I don't understand.
Well,
I think miscasting is a problem too. I don't think Finn Jones is good for this.
I mean,
I kind of liked him.
I thought he was kind of charming, and then he just kept talking.
I didn't like him in these first 4 episodes. I'm just going to judge him because that's what we're supposed to be reviewing. Yeah. I don't like him in these first 4. But it's not like a hate dislike. It's just like a neutral. Okay, you're fine. You're vanilla. You're 2% milk. You're not offensive, but you're not terrible either.
And he's also not a believable fighter.
Yeah, there's no world in which I believe that he can kick anyone's ass.
Oh, remember?
In Game of Thrones, you don't even see him really do much as far as being a warrior knight. He kind of Loras is there for I don't know. He's there for damn it, Stannis' little brother who gets killed. Oh, fuck.
Right.
Renly.
Well,
Renly.
He's there for Renly. A fight.
Yeah, he's there for Renly. He's there for his sister. He's there for later on when during the shit happening in season 6.
And
he's kind of an accessory character.
Religious people.
Yeah, he's more of a prop. Loras is only in Game of Thrones to kind of assist other plots. He was never someone who exerted strength.
Right.
He had a stalwart reputation, but you don't see anything of it. And then here it's oh look, he's throwing punches, and you're like, God, he looks awkward.
Yeah.
Remember when he did that not in that impossible jump over that taxi cab?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. We talked about it. It was really dumb. He looked fake, too. Everything about it looked fake. This show, it reminds me of, an early 2000s ABC show, which is fair because this is produced by ABC Television.
Yeah, it's a joint ABC Netflix.
But it feels like those shows from the early 2000s where there was some crazy premise and something really weird going on. And, some guy who was, Austrian from the 1930s or something found in a cave or some shit. It's probably a real show. I'm not making that up.
But
New Amsterdam with starring Nikolai Walder Costa.
Well, that was on Fox, but
I understand that Danny Rand's character in the comics is white,
right?
But you could have You could have cast an Asian person for this.
Yeah,
I mean,
easily.
Yeah, and Connor, you aren't here. You aren't there yet, but there's a character shows up called the Drunken who does Drunken Kung Fu, Drunken Master style Kung Fu.
he's like Bo Raicho.
Yeah, and
Yes!
he was in the running, like top 3 to be Danny Rand.
I have 2 names off the top of my head. Whoever thrown in this cast like as frontrunners. Nah, he's too old. Young Hun Lee from G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Retaliation. He played Storm Shadow.
Okay,
Right.
I'm cool with that. I'd be okay with that.
And Jay Chow from Green Hornet. He played Kato.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
you know who I have? Rama from The Raid.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Boom.
I have
Like,
a confession
beat
to make,
that.
guys. I've never seen The Raid.
Okay, you don't just look up The Raid 2. I want to say
I'm going to send
kitchen
it to him.
scene.
Yep, I'm going to send
Oh,
him the
God.
Raid 2 kitchen scene.
The kitchen
Yeah,
scene,
Jesus Christ. That
because
is
you're just seeing
cool.
2 experts who both know the same, who clearly both know the same moves. They know the same version of C-Lot, and it's just them like trying to figure each other out. And it's-
Allan, it is 7.5 minutes of 2 dudes beating the absolute piss out of each other.
Oh.
It is awesome.
I remember there's one scene in The Raid 2 where someone's jaw gets ripped off.
oh yeah, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, like, yes.
Which one? Okay, is Rama the one with the?
He's the one with like a bald hair, and he's the lead character.
He's the main character of the Raid in the Raid 2.
Yeah. And in the second one, he like goes deep undercover.
He just released a new movie called, I think it's called Headshot, which looks incredible.
I mean,
Yeah, no, he gets like, I think he's a former hitman who gets shot in the head and loses all of his memories, and then he slowly gets them back, and he like remembers he's an absolute badass.
yeah. And if you haven't even seen the Raid movies, he's in Fast and Furious 6, and he's the guy who beats up Han and Tyrese Gibson. And he's great.
Yeah,
And
he's awesome.
Yeah, he just
All right, Allan, it's in the Facebook chat.
Wait, he
watch that
wasn't
whenever.
one of the people wasted in Force Awakens, right?
Yes, he was. He was one of the crews that come in during the
Rat
Kancha
Pack?
Club.
yeah, and the guy with the long hair, he's in both Raid movies.
Yeah, he plays
as different
characters in the Raid
characters,
movies.
and he's a badass in both of those too. He would have been a great villain in this show.
Yes, easily.
Yeah, just he should have been not the assassin with the samurai sword in the tournament episode. I think that's in these first 4. But even if it's the 5, I think you've seen it.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. Well, there's a tournament, and he should have been one of the assassins. There's this like spider assassin. Don't ask. I would have rather had anyone from the Raid in that role. Than...
There's a tournament episode? This sounds schlocky as shit, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah, it's the best episode of the
Connor
first 6.
said-
Awesome!
Bring out.
You're
what's
very
his
close
face.
to it.
What?
You know, Christopher Lambert. Time for
Oh.
the tournament.
It's time for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it does become Mortal Kombat, and like
And then Bolo from fucking Enter the Dragon shows up.
yeah, well, because there's an episode it opens after Gao has realized that the Iron Fist is there, and they call together the Hand's best fighters, and it's the first episode where I was like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" Because it opens with an assassin like having killed an entire karaoke bar full of people, and he's like singing. What song was it, Hunter? Do you know? Do you remember? It's one of it's like a very popular karaoke song, and he's singing it while he's slicing a guy's throat open, and I was like, "Holy shit, this show got interesting," and then it stops being interesting.
No,
I
it's
don't remember
interesting.
the song.
This fight scene.
Oh yeah, notice
Oh my
how it's
God.
what warrior-
That's gotta
yeah,
hurt.
Alan.
While Allan's... I want you to watch it. It may not be the best to watch it while on the show because you're gonna shout a lot. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Although if we're gonna talk about fight scenes, let's talk about the only fight scene I saw in the 4 episodes that was worth mentioning, and it wasn't even that impressive. And that was the
Colleen Wing.
the eponymous hallway fight, which was
Oh.
nowhere near the quality of the Daredevil fights.
That's the problem. That's the real problem with this. Daredevil exists. They have a standard. They have a standard to live up to, and they don't even approach
And there's
that
no
standard.
and let's ignore the fact that it's a hallway. If we even compare it to the stairwell sequence in Daredevil Season 2, none of that intensity exists here. It's completely absent because, like, how much awesomeness happens in the stairwell fight sequence is almost hard to keep track of.
And
it's beautifully shot, like when he's whipping the light bulbs with a chain in his hand and just like screaming the whole time. Like even there's just solid imagery. This is just like Finn Jones with a blank expression in his face, like kind of aggressively pushing people over.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, even Jessica Jones.
It's fun to watch Luke Cage do that because you can't hurt Luke Cage by conventional means, and there's just people bouncing off of him, and that's amusing.
Was that the one that laughed when Joy got punched in the face?
So everything bad about the fight choreography in this show can be summed up by that first encounter with the security guards in episode 1.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of like slaps around for a second, and they're just like, what the fuck? And then just like walk after him. Like, when he fights, it just looks bad.
Okay, there's something that happened in episode 3, I believe, that was really strange. Why did he smack the shit out of that student in What's-Her-Face's dojo?
In Colleen's dojo?
I don't remember that.
He just becomes like he sees them all like messing around, and he's like, what is this? You're supposed to be warriors, bah! And then just like smacks the ever-living piss out of that one dude, and then Colleen's like, the fuck, bro?
Yeah, her exact words were, this is supposed to be a place of safety for them. They experience abuse from bullies, their families, and this is the one place that where they shouldn't have that happen to them. And
then rich white guy Danny Rand walks in and just like sucker punches one of them.
It's such an extra slap in the face for like a face spot. He's just like, fuck you.
What was the? Did you guys see the image with the? I don't know if it was a meme, but it has Daredevil. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage,
and it kind of it sums up like the moral conundrums of each character, and then it says like for Iron Fist, it says like life's hard when you're a rich white guy.
Yeah. I couldn't sum this show up any better. Yeah, really.
It is a lot of first world problems that just like drag on.
And they could have made it about something. Like they really could have.
Yeah, and that's kind of the theme of like the first few episodes is like, I'm Danny Rand and this is he doesn't even really give a shit about like having a seat in his company as much as I guess he's more concerned with like trying to prove he is who he is,
which is fine
if it didn't take 3 fucking episodes. But then like he gets the seat in the company. He's like, I'm not particularly enthused by this.
Yeah.
No one told me.
And the amount of infuriating stall work they did to get there, like when they go to the hospital and he goes to get his X-rays, and like conveniently a thug is just there, and they get into another fight sequence, and then the dude burns the room down. I was legitimately
blows up the room.
Yeah, he blows the room up with
at a hospital.
Yeah, at a hospital with flammable material in the X-ray room, and in the records room. Why the fuck was that there?
I don't know.
And then, like, they blow it up, and I'm like, great, another fucking step for this journey of him trying to prove his identity, which then gets solved by a piece of pottery.
Yeah.
Which, like, honestly, they handed it to Ward, and I expected Ward just, like, pick up and smash it.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a Ward thing to do.
And then him just be like, what?
What are you gonna do now, bitch?
Do something, Hogarth.
Come at me.
Yeah, so Hogarth just punches him in the face.
That would have elicited at least an emotional response from him, but instead he's like, where'd you get this?
Yeah, it's so bad.
When it comes to the 2 wards we have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe...
Oh, which is the worst ward, or which is the better ward?
Which is the worst ward?
Brett Dalton is a much better ward than this.
I think Brett Dalton's a fine actor. I think Agent Ward is kind of divisive, but
I think he's a worse person based off what I know happens.
Oh my god!
This guy's just like a guy.
So I just finished the kitchen scene.
Yeah, it's fucking great, isn't it?
That ending, though,
dude. Allan, the Raid and Raid 2 is basically 4 hours of that.
Right.
Long, extended action sequences that kind of make you go, "Wow!" like the whole time.
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing.
I think right before that, doesn't he he smashes some dude in the face with a baseball bat and then like violently pulls it out of his face and uses it on somebody else?
Batgirl and what's her name? I don't remember the name of the girl.
It's Batboy and Hammer Girl.
Batboy and Hammer Girl. He beats them both to death.
Yeah.
In a 2-on-1 fight, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, I think pretty much every fight in the Raid 2 is like Rama versus two or more people.
Yeah, the clip I'm watching right now is him against two guys who just disperses easily.
You know, it's funny that we mentioned we seem to be off topic, but however, like mentioning the Raid is an absolute fine comparison when you observe the action in Iron Fist, because like you're not allowed to have subpar fight sequences now. The Raid exists.
Yeah.
Daredevil exists.
Yeah, I mean, in the same universe, you have Daredevil, and the fight scenes in Daredevil, Daredevil became well-known and famous, and it got a lot of attention because the fight scenes were impressive for TV. Nothing on that level had been done on TV before.
And what's funny is if you go back and watch the single-shot hallway fight sequence, you're not actually seeing too much of what's happening. But the way it's framed and like what your imagination is doing all the work for you. Like when he goes into like the fact that most of the action takes place in rooms on the left or right out of your vision, and all you hear is noise, and then like I think out of the left, like a microwave comes flying out of nowhere and smashes against the wall, followed by a human being. It's awesome.
Yeah, and occasionally you get...
But the emotional impact of like watching one dude go into a claustrophobic space and take on like 10 people and like basically effortlessly succeed is awesome. Yeah. And then like here it's just like, again, like I said, Danny Rand is like kind of doesn't really react and just kind of walks down a hallway and starts pushing people around, and it doesn't really get interesting until he hops in the elevator, which is like the one cool shot where he's ducking and dodging like axe shots in a very close space,
and even Joy gets in on the action.
Yeah, like that was the only compelling part of the entire sequence, but other than that we've had no action sequences.
Yeah,
well, we have had
the cage fights. But even the cage fights are kind of like, whatever. It's just, I've seen Van Damme movies. I don't need this.
Yeah, but even like the cage fights are better than any of the fights with Danny.
Yeah, the cage fights, they're more, there's more, like, they're way more visceral. And could easily elicit a better response to everything you see Danny do. But again, like, they're weightless right now. They're as far as these 4 episodes go, they're utterly meaningless.
Okay, so...
Because I still don't know what her character's motivation is.
No, the status update. I just finished the Rama versus Hammer Girl and Baseball Batman fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
I'm never going near a hammer again.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Stop watching clips, because you basically just watch, like, most of the climax for the second movie. So
yeah.
Just watch the trailer for the first one, then be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm just so angry.
I'm super bummed out, because, I don't know, I like a lot of shit. I'm wearing a Clash of the Titans t-shirt right now, and not the 80s version, the 2009 remake. It's garbage, but I like that. I like that kind of garbage.
Right. It's got Mads Mikkelsen in it up.
And Sam Worthington when everybody thought he was going to be a star.
Right. But like,
and fucking Liam Neeson and Ralph Fiennes and like all these like really kind of credible actors like delivering the schlockiest like stupid lines ever. Yeah. Release the Kraken is now like in the pop culture like atmosphere. Like that's a line people use.
Right.
So I had an open mind going into this because I was like, whatever. I like a lot of bad shit. Like, and then I'm watching this, I'm like, this isn't even like bad to the point where I can laugh at it.
Yeah, it's not fun.
To the point where I'm like, anything, something happen, please, good, bad, something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, look at the conversations we've had over the last 45 minutes or so. It's small things because these small things are basically all that's happening. But all these small things are also terrible.
They all add up.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
because there's nothing to balance it out. There's nothing else going on to keep these things from bugging you.
Yeah, like we're struggling to find good things. Colleen Wing is it. Like she is the shining star in this whole show.
And Claire Temple just showed up in the episode I'm watching too. So that's
she shows up in episode 5.
Yeah.
Which is way too late for
yeah.
If she showed up in episode...
Honestly, I thought it was too early. because she usually shows up the back half of a season in the other seasons. Like I mean, the other shows.
Except for Daredevil.
Because in Daredevil, that's where she's from. But like in Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, she shows up at the back end to kind of be, like I said, the connective tissue from one show to the next.
Right.
She's kind of like the baton. She's basically the baton passer. Like she kind of gets this, then goes to the next show.
Or I forgot which one of you three said that she was the Nick Fury of the Netflix universe.
I think we've all said that several times.
Yeah, and we're still.
Does that make Turk Bennett Coulson?
I'm down with that.
Please, Lord, make it so.
I'm Turk Bennett.
He is a character from the comics, isn't he?
I think so, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think he is. If that's the case, God, I want him to stick around.
I mean, this is kind of a spoiler. He doesn't show up in this show.
Oh.
And it really pisses me off.
Really disappointing.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah, he's definitely from the comics. There's even art for him, too, and everything.
Yep. Cool mustache.
Kirk has had many runs with Daredevil where his inept schemes are usually played as comic relief.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it does. Even Turk Barrett's presence would lift this show a few notches.
Yeah. Something like his...
Again, it's like Hogarth. You go, oh, I know this person, and I have history with this person. I like this person.
Yeah, she's like the... I mean, I hope she doesn't have the same arc, but she's like that agent who always showed up with Coulson.
That one dude.
Yeah, who turns Hydra and Winter Soldier. Yeah, she's kind of like him. He's always there, but sort of in the background mostly. Occasionally having a bigger role, like Winter Soldier. But in her case, it's Jessica Jones. Yeah, Turk Bennett would have been great in the show, though. Like even an appearance because he was never in Jessica Jones, but they did like a comic book one shot for Jessica Jones where like she's visiting him in the hospital room after he's been beaten up by Daredevil. It's really hilarious. It's actually free if anybody wants to like go read it. It's like on Amazon, so go do that, people. But it's really funny because Jessica Jones is just making fun of him for getting beaten up. And even a moment like that where he got beat up after Luke Cage or something, and like he's in the mental hospital or something. Because they suggest that mental hospital isn't for people who are actually sick. It's for people who they don't want to put in prison or who they want to get off the streets for some reason. At least that's what I got out of it. It's not like a real, like, legit hospital. It's for people who are supposed to be gotten rid of or who are supposed to be pushed off to the side.
So this is where I mentioned when I started watching the episode that I had a story of similar to this.
Okay.
Back about 8 years ago, I was for the audience or for the people that don't know, I'm on the spectrum or the autism spectrum, and my high school didn't know what to do with me, so they sent me to a place where they send people with like kids who are fucked up.
Mm.
Oh my God, they Bart Simpsoned you.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
And I was like, that line that Finn Jones or that Danny says, 72 hours I'll be out of here. I was like, next year I'll be out of here. And I was told, no one ever leaves. I was literally told that no one
Holy shit.
leaves.
Hotel California shit.
Dude,
Wow.
were you in Kunlun?
The seal has been sealed.
Not at all to go off track more, but like mental health in this country scares the shit out of me.
Same.
Yeah. So I mean, where do we go with so this show happens.
Right.
Is he going to be the same character in Defenders?
I really fucking hope not.
Like, who the fuck who's handling Defenders right now? Is it the Daredevil crew?
It's the same guys who show ran Daredevil.
Okay.
Which is the only thing that gives me solace after this show.
So how do you damage control this? Like, I mean, obviously get Scott Buck the fuck out of here.
I mean,
make Luke Cage's role model, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, do you make because like I've heard a lot of people say Luke Cage kind of fizzled out for them, and they don't really look back on it too fondly as much as they did with Jessica Jones and Daredevil. But I've also heard the same thing about Jessica Jones. There was lots of people who lost interest.
Yeah.
Which is like I'm like when they're like about halfway through. I'm like, that's when you should have stuck on because that's when it got really interesting.
Yeah, Jessica Jones kind of it was kind of like a roller coaster for me. It had like a high point, and then it dipped, and then it went up a little bit again.
About 10 episodes into Jessica Jones is when shit absolutely hits the fan. It's riveting television.
It gets interesting again,
but like
very quickly.
I mean, after Defenders, do you do an Iron Fist season 2, or do you do Luke Cage? Do you do Power Man and
I think you do Power Man and Iron Fist, or you do Heroes for Hire, or some version of that, and you completely fire Scott Buck. He can go ruin the Inhumans and just stay there, please. Just don't ever come back.
Wait, is he working on Inhumans?
Oh yeah, I'm not watching Inhumans now. That's you're not getting me unless I hear glowing reviews. I have to hear that this is the best thing ever. But otherwise, I just can't do it.
And the other thing is, like, if the Daredevil crew is obviously much more competent in my eyes, like, they're going to make this show look very poor. Because one, they can do better fight sequences, and they're going to make this show look amateur.
Okay, so the showrunner for the Defenders is Marco Ramirez.
Yeah, but he has a partner. So what happened is Daredevil season 1 had a lot of problems. It had a lot of showrunner problems. Showrunners left. People went to go work on Sinister Six, among other things. And so basically,
worked out great.
Basically, what happened is, Marco Ramirez and another guy,
Doug
Petrie, they wrote the Fisk origin episode, which in the last half of Daredevil, after he gets beaten up by Nobu, that's probably the best episode.
No, it's the standout episode, season 1.
Yeah,
but Marco Ramirez's IMDb, like,
it's
Defenders. What he has though is Orange is the New Black, Sons of Anarchy, Daredevil.
Yeah, it's mostly TV.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's television that's also highly regarded. So.
Yeah, and but they sort of took over because they wrote some of the better episodes in the later half of the season and in the whole season. And it worked. We all know that it mostly worked. Most people don't like the second half of Daredevil season 2. I still like it for what it is. I don't think it completely works, but there's some great stuff in there.
Well, it's because you have, like we said the other day, it's you kind of have the blending of like 3 different arcs going on.
Yeah, and it gets a little messy. And
also, I think when you introduce an army of ninjas into anything, you kind of will run into the idea of like, this is fucking ninjas. Like it's like zombies. Like fighting one ninja is cool. Fighting 50 ninjas gets boring.
Yeah, it gets a little bit repetitive.
Yeah,
but I think even that season, which if I had to argue, it's like the strongest as a whole season. Even that season, it's 3 episodes too long. The show should be 10 episodes. Jessica Jones has the exact same problem. So does Daredevil season 1. Even Luke Cage, they could have trimmed like 2 episodes.
It's the Flash.
Well, the Flash could trim like 10 episodes. But,
yeah, easily.
Because all 22 episode shows can. Fight me. No 22 episode show does not need trimmed. Looking at you, Supernatural.
Hey, I like Supernatural.
And all 13 years of you.
Well, 5 of those years are really, really good.
I still have not gone beyond the first 2 episodes.
Oh, you need to. First 2 episodes.
Everyone tells me I would fucking love Supernatural, but I'm just like, I haven't gotten around to it.
You have to watch The French Mistake.
Once you get to the Azazel stuff, real deep into it, and once demons show up, that's when the show hits its peak. Because you haven't gone to the first Exorcism episode and their version of demons, and it's good. It gets really, really good.
I likened it to a Vertigo series.
Well, the whole show is based off Constantine. And my problem with Constantine when I watched it was, this is just Supernatural. But it's just one guy.
Okay. Then.
That actually was the selling point to my sister and mom. Because they're super fans of Supernatural, and they're like, more Supernatural?
Yeah, it's basically the exact same thing. At least Constantine is, at its best, as good as the golden age of Supernatural, which is season 4 and season 5. After that, it mostly is complete and total shit. Okay, where were we? Yeah, these shows are too long. So I guess I'm excited about Defenders. I don't know where Danny goes after Defenders, though. Anything other than, I'm just going to call him Chokri, because that's his last name. Anybody other than him writing Luke Cage and him also writing Danny sounds terrible to me, because I'm sure he can write Danny. I don't see why he couldn't. And maybe he could fix Danny.
I think you need, like, buddy cop writers for this one, because they have to play off each other.
I do think that another possibility is either Petri or Ramirez take Iron Fist. Because I feel like one of them could run Daredevil on their own after doing Season 2 of Daredevil and after doing Defenders. They could probably figure out how to do it solo. And it doesn't mean that they can't write on each other's shows. They can, come... Or they can just, make sure the shows are split time-wise so they can do both things at the same time.
Arlen, I've got a question about the previous Daredevil Seasons 1 and 2 and Jessica Jones Season 1 and Luke Cage Season 1.
Yeah.
Did they have 12 producers or 12 executive producers?
I mean, if you...
Because
okay, so...
Iron Fist does.
They probably did. But, so this is the thing, and this is something that's true of TV. It's also true of movies, but more in TV. TV can have up to 9 executive producers sometimes. So, for example, Boardwalk Empire. Good show. Not great, not perfect. Good. Very good.
It's really good. Michael Shannon is really good on that.
Right. Mark Wahlberg is a producer on that show. Executive producer on that show. How much input do you think Mark Wahlberg had on that show?
Very little.
He had more input on Entourage.
Yeah. He was a producer by name. He probably would come on set every once in a while and be like, "Yeah, this looks good."
Just to see where his money's being spent.
Right. And Martin Scorsese, he got that exec producer cred because he directed the first 2 episodes. So you automatically get an executive producer cred, and you get paid for every episode that's produced. And also, every episode is based off of your episode. Every single one. So the first episode of Daredevil, that guy's getting a check for every Daredevil episode. And so on and so forth. But he's an executive producer, and his input on that show was probably minimal at best. The real producer of that show, whose name is escaping me right now, he produced most of the show. He also wrote Wolf of Wall Street, and he wrote Vinyl, which is kind of a pseudo-sequel to Boardwalk Empire. Huh. Not a real sequel, but a more spiritual sequel. And he's the real producer of that show. Scott Buck is the real producer of this show. Jeff Loeb has been sort of the Feige, of all these shows, along with like Perlmutter, who produces everything that's not the movies now.
#fuck Ike.
Yep. Jeff Loeb I think what happens is he splits his time with these shows. So he was less involved in Jessica Jones. He was more involved in Daredevil Season 2. He was less involved in Luke Cage. He was more involved here, probably.
And also he also has Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he's
spend time with.
He's one of the main showrunners on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which, whatever. People's opinions are split on that show as well. But I can't help but... I don't know. I'm really confused. There's no way that they watched Iron Fist and said, "Oh, this was good." I don't believe that for a second. It makes no sense to me why you would watch this show, be a producer on this show, see what Scott Buck did, and say, "Oh, he's perfect for Inhumans." I don't understand.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't see how he would... It's like Zack Snyder. Like, Well, I suppose like Inhumans went in production before this got out, but still, you had to have seen the final product and be like, man.
They at least had to have seen these first 4. At least these first
exactly.
4.
How did he get a job again?
Like, the only thing I can think of is the people at ABC really must have liked him. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because what happens a lot of times is you get work because executives like you as a person, or they think you're really easy to work with.
Yeah, that's how we talk about like 3 things in every episode: Doctor Who, LXG, and wrestling. WWE is on USA and has a focus on the McMahon family because Bonnie Hammer, the head of the USA, loves McMahons, and that's it.
Yeah.
And she likes people in suits.
Yeah.
And it affects the product. Like, it negatively affects the product.
Yeah, and like the only reason Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orsay still have jobs is because they're really easy to work with. They will take your notes. They aren't going to just do the exact opposite of what you say and just say, well, fuck you, I'm a writer and I do what I want. This is my craft. They're not those guys.
That type of person, fellow Audie, Dan Harmon of Community.
Yes, that is that person who's, fuck you, this is what I do, this is my art. You ain't touching shit.
Yeah.
That's Dan Harmon. But
Harmon just doesn't, like, if you tell him to do something, he'll just tell you to go fuck yourself.
right,
Like,
but the Orsides are like, okay, Paramount, you want Khan to say his own name in this movie? Okay.
yeah, what the
My name is Khan.
Yeah. That's
My name is Pizza.
That's the only explanation I can come up with as to why he got that job. The ABC guys were like, you know, Scott, you should do this, and you should do this, and this, and you should do this. And Scott was like, okay, I'm just going to do everything that you just told me to do, and that's why he has another job. That's the only explanation I can think of.
So we're kind of spiraling, so I guess we should start to wrap up. But like, I guess what I want to say is like, this is the first time Marvel has, as far as MCU goes, this is the first time Marvel has really let me down.
And the first time on
that's
these
going
shows.
On, that's going on, especially with the 3. I mean, they were kind of like, they're a little bit spread out as far as their reception goes, specifically, but it was mostly positive. And this is the other way around. It's mostly people going like, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, like, before it's been mixed. Like, you can say Daredevil Season 1 is mixed.
You could say wider MCU, Thor 2, alright, maybe, whatever.
Yeah. Some people don't like Iron Man 3. They're all wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Iron Man 3, and they're wrong.
They're all completely... don't know what they're talking about.
Perfectly fine. Maybe you can even get away with saying The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, if you remember that movie exists.
If you remember that movie exists.
Iron Man 2, bad movie.
Yeah.
All around bad movie.
That is...
Not great.
You mean the Avengers prequel?
Yeah, all around just really terrible movie.
My favorite part of Iron Man 2 is when Mickey Rourke kept saying, "Where's my beard?
Yeah.
Where's my beard? That's not my beard.
I want my beard.
I want my beard."
But for the most part, they hit it out of the park. Usually.
Yeah, it's the first time that something with the the MCU and the Marvel Studios attachment to it has me completely deflated.
Yeah.
Sucks because like I guess we all knew it was going to happen eventually. Like I've been saying about Dark Knight for about 2 weeks, it wasn't going to be the gold standard forever. Marvel would eventually trip and make a mistake. However, I noticed one thing though is that Marvel does not make the same mistake twice.
No,
that's true. That's very true.
They usually find a way to fix it and make it better the next time.
Yeah,
like look at, perfect example, Thor 2 into Thor 3, like no, fuck it, just make it a huge, silly space opera with lots of colors, and we'll get the dude who wrote that that well-received comedy to do it.
Right. We're not going to just hire some, nobody TV writer or TV director to do...
Hey, whoa, he made Dog Soldiers, all right?
I mean, yeah, but... I like Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers is the shit for those who haven't seen it.
If we watch Dog Soldiers on a show, can we watch What We Do in the Shadows on a show?
No,
Wait,
because
that TV guy, you talking about Brian Cogman of Game of Thrones fame?
Is he?
No, it's fuck. I think it's Alan Taylor. I think
I think it is.
Oh yeah, Alan Taylor.
He also directed the classic Terminator Genesis.
Oh my god, he did.
Oh yeah, I believe he did.
Yeah, he did.
It makes so much sense now that I think about it.
Yeah. That cinematic masterpiece.
Great film.
Yeah, real good. Remember when Arnold says the thing?
No.
God fucking damn it.
That movie's worse than Jurassic World.
Remember when Matt Smith shows up?
No.
No, not Matt Smith. Matthew Smith, as he's credited.
No. Okay. Let me tell you how. Not to go so off the rails, but like I was so excited to see Matt Smith in a movie. I was like, yes, the Doctor Who momentum is going to carry me. He's going to do big things. And then I see him. I'm like, yeah, he's in Terminator. Fuck yeah! And he's on screen for about 18 seconds.
Basically,
no, he shows up as Genesis. He shows up as Skynet.
Basically, Helena Bonham Carter, her role in Terminator, whatever the fuck.
Salvation.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Terminator Salvation, the best Terminator movie made after Terminator 2.
Yeah, seriously. Terminator Salvation somehow is now one of the better Terminator entries.
I think there's always going to be a
It's
fight.
in the top 3.
Yeah.
Press Anton Yelchin.
Oh man.
Pour one out for our homie.
Seriously. I think we can wrap because there's not much else. Because also, this is only the first 4 episodes. We really just, I guess we want to save most of our energy for the whole series when we finally finish it. But
yeah,
this does not look promising.
Guess which movie I watched to get the awfulness out.
What?
Guess.
LXG.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That actually sounds good. That sounds like a nice antiseptic mouthwash.
I disagree. That's like that is like I don't want to say it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. It's like pouring garbage into a wound.
It's like having Pence be the president.
Ah! You mean Senator Bad Guy?
You mean Senator Kelly?
Motherfucker looks like he's about to pass legislation the X-Men. Not my joke. There's some memes passed around, but seriously, he looks just like a drawing of an evil, like douchey government white guy. Even with his dark ass black eyebrows, like. All right, I think I
think we're good.
Too long now.
Yeah, come back next time for episodes 5 through 8.
Yeah, hopefully a more optimistic.
I'll be interested to hear what you say. Again, I've seen all of them. And I can say 5 through 8 are really good.
Yeah, and I guess I'm trying to maintain an open mind, but like, damn, it is hard. It is I heard someone say the first 2 episodes were a chore. They are so right.
Again, Buck.
That is an outstanding summation of the first 4 episodes.
Yep.
Just
you.
That's back of the box quote material. Fuck.
Yeah.
People look at it and go, is that good? Is that bad? Is that indifferent? I don't really know.
I have no understanding of this.
All right, let's do plugs.
Hey, come follow me on Twitter at Western Commander. I don't tweet, but maybe I'll find a good reason to. Or you can just friend request me on Facebook. That's where all my garbage goes.
You can see me live tweeting Power Rangers SPD on Twitter at Davenport.
You fucking Power Rangers fans.
You can...
And you can follow my Tumblr, cosmonautswatisdead.tumblr.com. And you can find my writing on the Haro. I'm working on things right now. Once I finally get out of my writer's block.
Yeah, and that nice website Hunter just plugged. It's run by me. Weird saying that out loud. That is theharo.wordpress.com. You can find my writing there. You can also find Allan's writing there, and the writings of many other very talented, very smart people. For the most part, all of them, I'd say. And you can also follow me on Twitter at AAHaro. You can find me making fun of Hunter for watching Power Rangers SPD.
Yep.
And our Twitter banter is just ounces of joy. Mountains, actually.
High quality banter.
Oh, yeah. Fucking nerd.
Make sure you join our Facebook group, the Phantom Zone. We also have the Phantom Zone podcast page where you can go so you can get more updates in the podcast. And yeah, give us a like or a rating on iTunes because that is extremely helpful. Anyway, anybody else have anything to say? Other than
Apocalypse?
Yeah, that's going to be the closing for every episode. It was me, Barry. Bye, everybody.